Greetings, fair listeners, and thank you for joining me once again as we celebrate stories and storytelling in all their forms and the bards and artists who bring them all to life. I am the Tale Collector and your host, Erica Adams. If there's one regret that I have, it's that I never took up an instrument as a child, as I was too focused on keeping my grades in check. That's not to say I didn't get my music fix in my education. I did the next best thing and became a choir singer. Due to the myriad musical tastes of my various teachers, the repertoire of songs I performed became increasingly eclectic over the years. From Billboard hits and Latin hymns to indigenous chants and Christmas jingles, both instrumental and a cappella, and even with props once in a while. By the time I became a second alto in high school, I'd gained a special appreciation for group vocalization and music. Choirs truly remind me of the dedication it takes not only to develop one's singing voice to artistic levels, but to do it as a team, creating richer, more powerful sounds. And few exemplify that dedication, or that power, better than these boys. Let us now ascend with the sound of Libera, performing from 1995 to the present, and safe for listeners of all ages. Libera was founded by Robert Priseman, British composer, graduate of the Royal College of Music, and choir master since 1970. Its first members came from the Anglican parish of St. Philip's, Norbury in South London, releasing their first commercial album under the name St. Philip's Choir. In 1990, they released their second, this time under the new name Angel Voices. The group would use both names on subsequent albums throughout the 90s. It was in 1999 that the group took Libera as its official commercial name when Priseman released a CD containing remixes of his song Libera, and the group released what would be their self-titled album later that same year. The Latin singular of liberare, or to free, the name comes from the group's signature song, based on the Libera Me portion of the Requiem Mass. Not only have they toured in numerous countries all over North America, Europe, and Asia, but they've even had the honor of singing for two popes, Pope Benedict XVI in 2008 and Pope Francis in 2016. They also became a registered charity in 2007 with a U.S. arm set up in 2014. Soundtrack contributions include the films Shadowlands and Hannibal, among others, and, one of my personal favorites, soloist Stephen Garrity featured on the PlayStation 2 game Ico. Consisting of approximately 40 members, ranging in age from 8 to 16 from all over London, most possess unchanged boy soprano or treble voices, with the lower parts being sung by the teens. As their director, Priseman strives to emphasize the different qualities and ranges of the boys' voices, both individually as soloists and together as a group. Priseman structures nearly all of Libera's songs in one of two ways. Some pieces, like Time, are his own original compositions, his gift for poetic lyrics complementing the exquisitely solemn nature of the music they are paired with. Other times he arranges new songs from classical or contemporary pieces. Regarding the former, I'm especially impressed by songs whose source material was originally instrumental, such as Air, based on Air on the G string by Johann Sebastian Bach, Lacrimosa, based on the Aquarium movement of Camille Saint-Saëns' The Carnival of the Animals, and The Fountain, based on Prelude in C minor by Frédéric Chopin. Libera projects a distinct aura of comfort and tranquility. Their album covers feature numerous symbols of peace, especially white ones: doves, swans, sunlight, clouds, stars, and snow, just to name a few. They will often perform in their signature white cowls, or hooded robes, especially when live. I think Libera means to touch listeners, namely ordinary people, who strive and long for a better world and a better future. The booklets of their first two albums, Libera and Luminosa, feature inspirational quotes from various authors and philosophers throughout history. When read together, they seem to present the central theme of their respective album, the first representing freedom. Quote, "Man is free at the moment he wishes to be," Voltaire. And the second representing light. Quote, "The light of the sun is but the shadow of love," Henry David Thoreau. Starting with their third album, Free, the quotes were replaced with song lyrics. Truth be told, as much as I like knowing the lyrics so I can sing along, I really do miss those beautiful quotes. With such an air of exalted purity about them, it may be hard to remember that these boys, like those quotes, are human at their core. They consider themselves as an alternative kind of boy band rather than a group of choir boys. For all their divine harmonies and musical fame, they are all still regular boys, and they are proud of that. In fact, sometimes they trade their robes in for white or black hoodies with slacks, or even entirely casual clothing in the case of their music videos. And as I mentioned, their catalog isn't limited only to church hymns and classical pieces. Speaking from personal experience as well as personal opinion, not many songs transition well to the choir style, especially those of fundamentally differing genres like rock or pop. But these kids have the practice of song covering down to a fine art, literally. They add a youthful vigor to the already refreshing Orinoco Flow by Enya. They bring harmonious virtue to a new level in their rendition of From a Distance, written by Julie Gold and popularized by Bette Midler. Wayfaring Stranger, a 19th century American folk song sung by such musicians as Johnny Cash and Neil Young, is made all the more poignant and melancholy for being sung by children. And in Celine Dion and Andrea Bocelli's The Prayer, the tear-inducing love and spirituality is flawlessly retained. Historically, choirs have been associated primarily with the church, and in many respects, Libera is no exception. However, they achieve something that few other choirs of this kind have. Their rich, clear vocals and fresh musical approach give strength to words and sounds that emanate from the distant past, in order to create a message of hope and peace that can resonate with those living in today's world. Whether through the caress of a single soft note or two, or the rush of a glorious harmony, even children are more than capable of reaching people's hearts as well as their ears. Gather round next time for another tale you may have forgotten or have never heard before. Until then, listeners, may inspiration always find you.